made several complaints to the GMC regarding social media posts that were published by Dr. Rahma Aladwin. And let me show you some of those posts.
What power? Yours, pal. And what?
This is the first one, the first part of it. This is the complaints they're making about her. They said that Dr. Rahma, when responding to other users' posts, so as a comment, regarding the GMC, a post which was published on the 25th of April read, "Hey, at GMC UK, the world sees you kneeling before your Jewish supremacist masters and the Israeli lobby. This is a betrayal of your doctors. Stand with them, not with supremacy, genocide, and apartheid." What's wrong with what she said? What's wrong with what she said? I see people in the UK consistently call out Muslims, consistently support genocide, doctors included, and nothing's ever happened to them. I mean, I'll show you some evidence of that. And what she said is she disagrees with Jewish supremacy. What's wrong with that? Another post published on the 29th of April read, quote, "I will never condemn the 7th of October. A post published on the 5th of July partially read, "Britain is totally occupied by Jewish supremacy." Another post which was published on the 6th of July read, "Let's make this crystal clear. Anti-Zionism means Israel has no right to exist. No debates, no exceptions. Israel is genocide. Its supporters are genocidal and thus includes over 90% of Jews on earth." Addressing the chief rabbi, a post published on the 6th of July read, "Why do you lie so much, Rabbi Genocide? Palestinians are Semites, and you support our mass murder, you criminal." Another post on the 13th of July, she said, quote, "Calling them Zionists instead of Jewish supremacists only helps the mass murder continue. And if Jews want to be seen as separate from this horror, they need to stop perpetrating it. Until then, the world sees what they are doing, and no amount of deflection, rebranding, or moral posturing will change that." One post published on the 13th of July read, in part, "Jews can deny it all they like, but at some point you will have to accept that Jewish supremacy is what is murdering us." Responding to another user, a post was published on the 30th of July which partially read, "The Royal Free Hospital in London is a Jewish supremacist cesspool." They continued, "In a reel entitled Resist, alongside an upside down red triangle icon, she wrote, quote, "We never condemn the Palestinians. We back their struggle, including armed struggle. In recent months, the inverted red triangle and its emoji variant has been used by some anti-Israel activists to signal and support for proscribed terrorist organizations such as Hamas, inspired by the appearance of the symbol in Hamas propaganda videos to indicate targets for the attack." So what they're saying is the red arrow, the red triangle, and the emojis that are similar to it, all of them are anti-Semitic, and all of them are pro-Hamas. Capturing a photo of Hamas gunmen, she said, quote, "A picture of Al-Qasim a day keeps the Z's," which means Zionists, "locked away," in reference to an anti-Semitic Amsterdam pogrom. I told you guys that in November they said it was a pogrom. They're going to do the same thing in November in the UK as well. They'll say that's another pogrom. Every November there's a pogrom of the Jews is what they're going to claim. Anyway, this is what they said. In reference to the anti-Semitic Amsterdam pogrom of November last year, remember we covered this, she hosted a hand-drawn graph with the words F around all one axis and find out all the other. The caption read, "You provoke, you pushed, you prodded, you played victim, you deserve to pay, you parasite pariah. Settlers should feel welcome nowhere. And if they try that crap in the UK, they'll be met with resistance too. Seems justice is found on the streets." And her lawyers wrote a letter, and her lawyers made a very fair complaint. The complaint of the lawyers were very simple. They said that it's quite clear that West Streeting, as a minister, has intervened in a quasi-judicial proceeding without knowledge of the evidence or the submissions that are being made before the MPTS. And that's what's happened. West Streeting has infused himself in the situation? Why does a government minister do that? Why doesn't he allow justice to play? And justice did play. And justice found, and the judiciary found, that Dr. Rahma had not breached any rules when it comes to her medical practice. They decided she would not be suspended and that she should be continue to practice while the GMC continue to review her case. Despite that being the case, they still ignored that. West Streeton came about, infused himself in the situation, and brought along another hearing. And the additional hearing now that is happening, what does this show? It is going to be in 2 days' time, and we know they're going to suspend her. The Zionists control things. They arrested her on purpose today, and what it shows is that the government gets involved, controlled by, it was the Jewish lawyers from the UK, as well as the counter to anti-Semitism, groups such as those who got involved and had this hearing be redone. It's just like a trial. Just imagine it. You have a trial. You prove your innocence. You win, and they're like, oh, actually, we didn't like that trial. We're going to do another one next week. That's exactly what's happened. That's how crazy it is. When it comes to legality and the legal system, it just does not apply to these people. This is Jewish supremacy. This is Zionism. And we have to throw our full support behind Dr. Rahma, because they're going to use her as a litmus test. They're going to use it as precedent to silence all of us, to make sure none of us speak against Israel, to make sure none of us speak against Zionism, and to make sure that the oppression continues. This is 1984. This is a dystopian society. This is totalitarianism. And it's all happening based on the Israeli control of the United Kingdom. This is why, if you see now, when people say, Suleiman, why do you push back when these guys say there's a Muslim takeover of the UK? Or a Muslim invasion of the UK? Because it's a lie. They control the UK. And this is the evidence of it. This is another evidence that they control the UK. Where this poor old Palestinian doctor, from Palestinian origin, she's a British doctor, is being attacked. She has had the legal system be placed against her. She's been arrested. And now her medical license is going to be suspended because of their attacks. She won her case and then they're making her retry again. Welcome to Jewish fascism in the United Kingdom.